do it as much like Deborah as you can, Jeremy.
Welcome to another episode of Global Strangeness, the show where three strangers get together to discuss the strange, the paranormal, and just the strange, everything weird in this world. And of course, you might be noticing we're missing our best looking member tonight. Sorry, Scott. But Deborah could not be here tonight. But me and Scott, well, mainly me, decide we feel like getting a guest. And we're talking Australian cryptids tonight. So I, of course, said, I know an Australian. Let's get him.
You came up, man.
And Brock, thankfully, was able to come on, since I was almost worried he wouldn't, because I was thinking, like, oh, that'd be like 4 or 5 in the morning over there. I don't know if he's be able to do it. Then I'm like, oh no, it's later than that in the morning over there even. So he can do it.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I had my phone on silent when you originally messaged. I have my phone on silent until 8 a.m. So, I rolled over and saw the message. I'm like, how long ago was that message?
And I can say, Brock, you guys in Australia, you do look totally different than us. So
I know. Yeah. Well,
over there.
Well, from South Park, Canadians have the flappy heads. We sort of have, the more rounded ones.
Yeah, our other co-host is Canadian.
Canadian. I was so gonna make that joke too. That's funny. But that's right. Me and Scott brought some Australian cryptids to talk about tonight. And Brock's kind of, since he's from Australia, we can get an insider's perspective on if Australians actually know that we hear about these things, or if they just are like, what the hell are you talking about thinking we have down here?
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes things that the rest of the world think we know or we like or we are all sort of into, kind of like Foster's beer. Like no one drinks that here, but it'll be interesting to see how many I'm aware of, I guess, or know of.
So when you typically do like cryptid research, are you getting mainly American stuff, or is it like a lot of home stuff?
I should clarify, Brock is not a paranormal podcaster.
No, yeah.
Oh.
I'm only here because of where I'm located. But just as a run-of-the-mill civilian, we would get look, I've heard of the Jersey Devil. I think that's one of them.
Yep.
Obviously, Nessie from Loch Ness. Yeti, Abominable Snowman, Bigfoot. Who else? Sarah Palin.
There's one.
Well, just I suppose just the classics, the greatest hits. Just trying to think what other ones I may have. Like that's, I suppose, international wise is all I've really. Yeah,
I was gonna say, I think Sarah Palin is closer to you than she is to me, but.
Oh yeah, I
but
suppose yeah. The Kraken would the Kraken be classed as one? Like the big squid type thing?
No, because that's 100% real.
The colossal squid, the colossal squid's been proven real, so that kind of is a Kraken.
Okay,
but kind of, that could have been what they were talking about when the old sailors came up with the whole myth of the Kraken. But other than that, and over here we like to say Hillary Clinton's more of the cryptid than Sarah Palin. But
all right, yeah.
But Scott, you want to do one of yours first? You want me to do one of mine first?
Well, here, I'll go ahead and get one out of the way before I'm too drunk. Oh, hold up. I got our volume going. Okay. What the fuck happened?
It's too early for me to drink a beer, so yeah.
No, it's never too early.
I suppose that it's afternoon somewhere, but still, yeah.
Well, it's nighttime here, so there you go.
Okay.
But
let me jump into this first one here. So have you ever heard of this? One's kind of funny. I'll get into it later, but God damn it. There we go. So drop bears.
Yes. Yes. The drop bear is more of a
Funny?
prank.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a prank that you would sort of pull on tourists and, gullible, unexpecting people. So it's always said to be the more ferocious cousin or relative of the placid koala bear. But there is actually, I don't know whether you've seen it, a Scottish reporter was in Australia
Uh-huh.
and they gave her well, obviously drop bears, just a made up thing, but they gave her a koala. But before they did, they fitted, they said, you've got to wear all this protective gear, like a hockey mask, and it looked like a, what do they call them? Like a chest plate thing, similar to what
Oh,
a
like a SWAT
catcher
vest?
would wear in baseball, and bike motocross type gloves, and they decked her out with everything and said, look, we'll give you the drop bear, don't look at it in the eye, this, that, and the other. And she was just, shitting herself.
Is it on video?
It is. If you go to YouTube and I think put in Scottish reporter drop bear prank, it'll probably come up. And they give it to her and they kind of run away a little bit as they give it to her. And then halfway through the report that she's doing for whatever TV station she's with, they sort of say, oh, hang on. He's quick. We better take it off her, as if it's about to sort of do something. And then at the end, they obviously tell her and everyone's just rolling over laughing. Because I think they said in the way they said it to her, that was like, look, when Captain James Cook, who he was the European that discovered Australia, when they came and they got on the land, they were being attacked by these things that were dropping out of the trees that looked like little bears. So that's why they named them drop bears. So that, that was back in 1788 or something when it supposedly started. So yeah, she was believing it hook, line and sinker, but she was petrified. So
Well, koalas, they actually do like get stoned and fall out of the trees, don't they?
Yeah, they get high off the eucalyptus leaves. They can attack if, like most things, if threatened, but they can. Yeah, I've seen them in the wild, but not in like wild. I saw one walking down a street, sort of on the and people came over to try and usher it away from the traffic. And then some drunk person with his wife got out of a car and they were trying to cover it with a blanket or something. And it just, like, how you got your street signs, like your 2-pole signs that might say, next town so many miles or whatever. It just ran up the steel pole like it was nothing. And the claws, like, it could rip you to shreds if it wanted to, but they're fairly placid,
Yeah, no, that's basically what I found out about it is, they try to say that they're more aggressive, but like some of the things, the joke things I had heard, is if you think you're being stalked by a drop bear, you're supposed to lay down on your back and spit directly in the air. And then if spit hits you in the face, a drop bear is fucking coming to get you. It's time to get out of Dodge. And then, so like the protection, you're supposed to put forks in your hair and then rub toothpaste behind your ears and your neck and your armpits for some reason. And if you're still not satisfied enough, you're supposed to piss all over yourself. You're going to be fucking A-okay from the drop bear. But I think that is funny that they like created this cryptid to fuck with tourists.
I mean, I just asked my wife if she wants one as a pet, and she said it looks like she's like, no, it looks like a koala bear that's got mange and rabies. But
that might be better than a dog.
As someone who has 2 dogs, I might be inclined to agree with you. But I'm kidding. I love my puppies. They're just pains in the freaking ass.
I
But
did think that the fucking Australia was a good cryptic topic though, because like all the animals from Australia, kangaroos and like dingoes and shit, and then like the ones that are still labeled as cryptids, they got a lot of them that are recently extinct. So like they could still be out there, like they're real animals, right? And they look weird as fuck.
Yeah, some of them, I don't know what you're going to get through, but I'll let you know if you get to one that has actually been around and then it's extinct, but it's still a bit, ooh, is it still out there sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've just in the chat
yeah, I
sent
saw
through
that.
a link. Yeah, so I don't know.
Scott, can you play that in your screen, Scott, or no? You should be able to
So-
click and open it, then share your screen, I think.
Chat. This is the first time I've ever been in chat. So let me get it loaded up. Why don't you do yours and I'll get
All right.
all my commercials and shit off. I got it. Right.
All right. Why don't you put on the picture of the one that looks like a dinosaur there?
Okay, let me oh shit, what am I doing? Hold on, I'm not a very good zoomer. Can I hide that? Close. There we go. Okay, picture of which one now?
The one that looks like a dinosaur.
Okay, cool. I got you right here.
There you go.
Share screen. J Dino.
There he is. What the heck? There we go. And I'm gonna butcher this.
Runjaw.
Yeah, the Brunjor. Thank you there, Brock. I
Also known as the Venusaur. Yeah. No, I hadn't heard of this one until I've got a few windows open. I did a Google search prior. I did research.
Well,
I'll be learning something here.
As the picture set pretty much shows you, it's an Australian dinosaur cryptid that resembles the T-Rex, but maybe a descendant of megaraptorids like the Australoventor, the Megaraptor, or the Rapator. But it could also be a dinosaur that is not so far has not appeared in the fossil record. It's described as being a giant lizard according to Aboriginal mythology. Based on sightings, it's 20 to 25 feet long, has small clawed hands, and is bipedal. Throughout the 1950s, Australian cow ranchers reported a large creature leaving bipedal tracks that was eating their livestock. Also, earlier Aboriginal accounts suggested it is a reptilian animal, possibly with feathers, of course, whose diet consisted of kangaroos and other large animals. If it was not for the bipedal footprint findings, the Barringer could have been mistaken for a megalania, a prehistoric giant monitor lizard that lived in the area more recently based on the Aboriginal description. The last sighting of this creature was in 1985, when a family was traveling to Roper River, and they reported seeing a 20-foot-long monster covered in feathers. Another report tells of a man named Brian Clark, who went in the woods and got lost sometime during 1978. After the alarm was raised, he was tracked by policemen and two Aboriginal bushmen. Trackers woke up one night to a loud thunderous sound and the ground shaking. After finding the wayward traveler, the policeman later told the man that if he ever went back into the woods and got lost, they would not come looking for him. Good cops right there. Some think the sound was the stomping of the Burrnjor. However, a light-footed theropod dinosaur would not crash around the undergrowth in this manner, despite what certain Steven Spielberg movies would make you believe. There have been no sightings of this creature in more than 30 years, at least no one that has seen it has come forth. This has led many to believe that if it once existed, it has since become extinct. However, no remains have been found yet. More recently, the Burrnjor has been one of several supposed living dinosaurs to be held up by proponents of the young Earth creationism as evidence for their beliefs. And for those who don't know, which actually we should do an episode on this some week, Scott, but the young Earth creationism is people who believe that Earth was created not as long ago as we think it was, and that's why they're still living dinosaurs.
Well, you got topics coming up next month, dude.
Mokele Umbembe exists, Scott.
I bet, dude. If it exists anywhere, it's got to be in the Congo.
I agree with that one. Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I got the video he sent me. Let me see if I can do this without fucking it up. Sharing sound.
I have faith in you.
God damn it, man. These fucking windows always get in the way.
Got everything crossed.
You got the drop bear suit on.
There we go. Yeah, they're
How you feeling?
shooting this lady up.
Well, at the moment, okay, because there's nothing near me, but it is a bit like a Batman suit. So I'm a bit,
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
I need this level of protection.
What is that? Like a
Okay.
professional, like, crotch rocket suit? You got the welding gloves on?
They do.
Damn, ski boots and everything.
Okay.
So drop bears are a close cousin of the koala, but they're actually really vicious. So it's sort of like a dingo and a normal domestic dog. They're bigger, they've got longer claws. They've actually got really small fangs, and the interesting thing about the fangs is they have a really mild venom. It's
The
not
dingo.
Here's
like
your
snake venom
attack,
that can make you really sick, but it
kangaroo,
just
John.
causes a lot of really local irritation. So the third most common injury that we see in tourists in Australia is actually from drop bear attack. So here we go.
I'm getting
It's related to the dingo. Does it eat the baby too?
One of the early explorers.
No. He's saying that like a dog is related to a dingo, a drop bear is like to a koala.
He was there with Joseph Banks, and what they found was that these things kept dropping out of the trees and attacking them, and they
Okay,
thought they
let's
looked like little bears, so they were just
Forward
like,
it up
cool,
to
cool.
where she brings the bear out. Here's this. How come that guy doesn't got to wear all the suit shit?
Alright, just gonna.
Oh, so cute.
He's a professional
Yeah.
drop bear handler, huh?
Okay,
No fast.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice and steady with the bear.
They normally
Keep
go.
calm. Everybody looks
say
very,
you're a
very
good
worried
little-
about this. I'm trying not to be worried because I'm being told that he can sense if I'm worried.
Yeah.
We've been told that this is quite a dangerous bear that's been known to attack people. It's called a drop bear because they
You
drop
think
out
she
of the
actually
tree
went
to
back
attack
home
people.
with this report?
Just been handed it
Mm.
and had to put on all of this protection gear because of what it might do to me. I'm not quite sure what it's doing right now. It's looking at what? Okay,
I
right,
thought he was going to get you.
right.
It's so cute.
I want
It's
to
gonna
say-
fucking get
ITN
you.
insurance might not
right,
cover this. Do you want to
okay,
take it off?
say I'm really not.
I'm
Okay.
going to get the dark gun, just don't move.
Oh, that's a
Yeah, but-
wallaby, right? That's not a kangaroo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take it off. Take it off.
That's
Take it
Please
off.
take it off.
That's Rocco.
Okay.
Rocco's Modern
Sorry.
Life.
Okay.
Good boy.
That's my favorite show growing up, man.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks, mate. Let's go.
You're kidding me! You're kidding me!
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, to fall for that though. I mean,
Yeah, the thing was pretty docile, dude.
oh, it can sense when you're worried. You kidding me? The koala bear I know most was always worried. That was in the movie Sing. But
What are you
Scott.
drinking there? Wine or what?
sangria, I got
Ah,
5. They had a clearance at a liquor store near my job. They had bottles for $3 each, so I bought like 5 of them.
dude, wine should only come in a bag. Telling you.
Oh, Scott. I gotta class you up a little bit.
Okay, so I'm going to the how close are you to Queensland?
I'm right down the other end. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
2
I've-
states down.
I sort of
there's-
looked at the map a little bit. I have no fucking idea.
I'm
If
in
I'm not
Victoria.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I'm not mistaken, Brock's in Victoria. So
Yeah. So it goes Victoria. Then there's New South Wales, but there's also the ACT, which is Australian Capital Territory. Because back in the day, New South Wales and Victoria wanted to have like where Parliament was. So they said, stuff it, we'll just make a new spot. Sort of in
How-
the middle. And then there's Queensland.
How locked down was your part of Australia during the whole COVID shit?
Probably the most locked down in the world, I reckon. Yeah, we
Worse
had
Dude.
worse than Japan or China.
oh no, we didn't get barricaded into our places if we had it like China. We were up there because at one point you couldn't leave your house. There was only like 4 reasons you could leave your house. like regardless of if you had it or not, but like, you know, it was household essentials. We had a curfew. You couldn't be out after a certain time unless you were working.
What did the
Uh,
general population think of that? Like from American Fed News, like Sky News, I don't know how true Sky News is, but like American Fed News, it was like everybody was going along with it. Were you guys all pretty...
Mostly you had your people that, you know, no matter what it was going to be, they're going to kick up a stink.
Mhm.
And then most of the people towed the line. They could see it was for the, I guess, the greater good. You know, the sooner it gets to a certain point, the sooner things get back to some normality. Like we had a point where it's like, right, we can go 5 kilometers. I'm not sure what that is in miles, but you know, from your house to
like only 10 or so, huh?
you know,
It's 2.2.
about that, I think. Yeah, to exercise and, you know, to walk and this and that. And, you know, you couldn't have so many people around at your house at one stage. And a few people got busted for having parties, you know.
Those
You could only
TikTok parties, man, they get out of control.
Yeah, like currently, obviously you guys got, you know, obviously there's more people there, so you got more deaths and whatnot. But like currently, well, Victoria have got the most deaths, which is currently sitting at 7,459. That's just for that state, for my state. As a country, we haven't even hit 20,000 deaths.
Yeah, and those are probably all over exaggerated anyway.
So
it came out in America so bad that people were using, like, that hospitals were marking everything as COVID just so they can get more funding.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, well, see, our medical things, I guess, you know, like most countries, differ from one to another, but we're sort of, you know.
Well, is Australia universal healthcare like Canada?
We have Medicare, which, yeah, you can get rebates on most things, and then you have private, of course. You just have to wait a bit longer. Like if I have to go to the hospital for something, you know, to, you know, if I fall off my bike and break my arm and go, it doesn't cost me anything. But if there was like an elective surgery, like, you know, I wanted to
get
plastic surgery,
yeah, or something, you know, you could, if you're in, you could get private health and pay for it and then get it done sooner. Or if it's elective surgery, like they put off a lot of elective surgery when COVID hit. They sort of put it back of, but that was like, you know, people that might have needed a knee replacement, they could still get by without it. They just had to wait a bit longer, but it didn't cost them any money. Whereas, you know, if you're in private, you get stuff like that seen a bit sooner because you're paying for it. But it's not like I know when I was in Canada, I broke my ankle. And I think if you're there in Canada as a tourist for about 3 or 4 months or something, you kind of become like a pseudo Canadian. So you get you get covered if something happens to you. But I wasn't covered. I was like, I didn't get travel insurance because I was like, yeah, nothing's going to happen to me. But yeah, I think that cost me a couple of $100 just to get that seen to in Canada because, you know, I was a tourist. So, but then when I came back to Australia, because it ended my trip, I had to get it recast because they cut the cast so my foot didn't pop when I got in the plane with the altitude and the air pressure. So I had to get it recast when I came back, and that didn't cost me anything. I just walked into the hospital and said, "Hey, I've got to get this recast." So they X-rayed it again just in case this, because they wanted to be sure what was broken and not broken in it, and then they recast it again and walked out, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, I had my gastric bypass surgery pushed back like 3 times because of COVID, but it's just, and I still had to, and they still wanted to charge me thousands of dollars to get it done too, because American healthcare is bullshit.
Well, I had a gastric sleeve about 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, there you go. Same thing I had.
and I think the bypass or the sleeve.
I had the sleeve, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that only, well, when I say only, it cost me, I think, 16,000 Australian dollars,
Jesus.
I think, from memory.
Oh my God, dude. I mean,
I
I
think,
didn't
yeah.
I didn't pay shit because I freaking applied for financial assistance through the hospital and they like wrote it all off. But
Yeah, no, I dipped into my, I suppose you call it the same thing, like superannuation. Do you call it that?
I haven't had insurance since I was like 17. Everything's cash dollar.
Yeah, so, well, superannuation, I don't know whether you call it that over there, but it's kind of like your retirement fund to a degree. So when you work, the government puts some money into what's called your we shorten it to super when we say it, but superannuation, and they take some money out, and you can match that if you want. So a percentage of your wage every, week, fortnight, month, however often you get paid, you can't access it until you're retired. And then it's like your pension, you're supposedly meant to live off that for the rest of your days.
yeah, we have that same
Social
system.
Security.
Yeah, Social
Okay.
Security.
Right, yeah, we call it superannuation.
I like that.
So-
Sounds more magical.
When you hear Americans talk, do you think they have an accent?
Oh yeah, shit, yeah.
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 What
Yeah.
What would you say our accent is the closest towards?
Well,
We're like almost South African, different, like you can tell, But
who,
like
Australians?
Australians, yeah, it's got kind of like a South African ring to it. Not as much, but
Oh, we'd be closer to New Zealand.
well, we consider that all one big place.
Yeah.
Over here, so.
Well, I remember.
Speak for yourself, Scott.
Well, The Hobbit was recorded there. Lord of the Rings was recorded there. I guess. New
Well,
Zealand.
you'd be closest to Canada, obviously. If depending on words, like if you didn't ask a Canadian to tell you about his boat, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'll tell you about my boot," you'd probably be like, "Hang on, are you American or Canadian?"
Really? You guys have that
yeah.
much? You must only met like fucking Americans from like Michigan or something.
But it depends too. Like if you obviously there's Southern accent, then you got your Californian accent, and you got your Boston, and then your New York, and we don't really have locational like state. Like if I went to Queensland, maybe they might talk a bit slower, but they still sound the same. Like the country sounds pretty much the same. It's more so, I suppose it'd be class.
Well, see, you went on with this Californian accent. It's not an accent. That's where the English language was absolutely perfected.
Oh, is it a vibe?
Okay, Scott. Okay, Scott.
Yeah, but it's probably more of a class thing. You could probably, like Steve Irwin, he was more of a what you'd call
God
an
rest his
ocker.
soul.
Be
A
like
knocker?
hey, ocker, sort of like probably close to like a redneck, you'd probably say for your
Okay.
terminology. Sort of, salt of the earth type, not sort of uppity. Then you've got your middle class, which is a little bit like that, but a little bit more proper. And then you'd have your, sort of rich, hoity-toity type.
Who'd be a rich person I could watch on TV and like compare to Steve Irwin? Or on like YouTube. Like the Sky News lady, is she like a hoity-toity?
Yeah, probably like a news reporter.
Okay.
And same with English, like classes. You'll get your, oh wait, what are you talking about? Sort of stuff, and then you'll have your, hello, I'm the Queen type. Well, I was the Queen. You got your royalty, and then you've got your people that are in the pub having a pint, and oi mate, you're looking at me funny, sort of thing. Sort of like your Cockney accent and shit like that. Where you guys are probably more state to state,
I mean, depends. I mean, like, cause like you mentioned New York and Boston.
Jeremy sounds funny as fuck. Like It's close to Deborah. I can see it, but
I mean,
But the
uh,
funny thing
uh-huh.
is, there's a guy. I don't know if either of you guys have ever seen AFL football, Australian rules football.
can't
you
say
mean
I have.
soccer?
No. We call soccer here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, you can say soccer around me, and I know what you're talking about. I'm not going to go. Oh, it's called football. I'm not. Yeah, no bugger that.
It's
Now AFL.
football.
I don't know if
I don't watch American football, dude. So I'm like
Oh,
totally
Me either.
lost on
Me,
that.
me either. Me either. Go
Well,
ahead.
you would love this, and even if you don't watch American football, because it's better
Was
than
it?
American football.
Oh no!
Was it?
Let's
What?
kick this guy.
Wait a minute.
I
No,
just-
was it like? Is it like the XFL?
Oh no.
Better than
No.
American football.
It is. It is. Hang on, I'm just finding the official beginner's guide. to
So
it.
if you like made it on the internet and you're fucking balling out of control, how quickly are you moving to America? Like next plane ride there or what? You gonna
it
stay
depends.
in Australia?
Depends how much money I would make. If I was right for money, yeah, I would. Because at the moment, I don't have to work
Ah.
because due to medical stuff and not physical, more so in the head. But
You
because
fit right in. You could fit right in America.
oh yeah, no. We'll see. Like, what are we in 2023? So late 2021, early 2022. After being an adult for most of my life, I actually found out that I was on the spectrum.
Mm.
Huh.
So and I found out I also had ADD. So I qualified to get a fortnightly payment from the government. But I can still obviously, look for work and do things, sort of thing. So it's just a matter of finding suitable work, that doesn't trigger shit and whatnot. So I kind of say to people, I'm because I'm high functioning, but I'm a really, really dumb. No, I'm a really, really smart retard. I'm somewhere in between a really, really smart retard and a really, really dumb Rain Man. So
you ain't counting the matchsticks.
no. But I have things. I've got to have things in certain places. Like I had a job.
I got OCD too, dude. I used to
I was
be
a
fucking
computer.
light switcher and like tap my keys. I still catch myself doing that shit every once in a while, and it's like, shut the fuck up, bitch.
When I was applying for this thing, because obviously they got to make sure you're legit. I went through my work history, and I worked out that in my adult life, I've had 31 jobs that I could remember. And up until the point that I was diagnosed, I didn't realize why I'd get I couldn't work out why I'd get a job. I'd only be in it for X amount of months, years, and then something would happen. And, like I would have a blow up or something, And then once I got diagnosed, it's like, oh shit, everything's falling into place, sort of thing. Like social cues, I'm sort of a bit slow picking up. So I would never know if someone was into me relationship wise or how to, I'm hard to read as well with facial expressions. Like I think I'm smart.
You look like a cartoon.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think I'm smiling in photos in my head, but I'm not. You look at there'll be a photo of me, and I'm like, I was smiling in that photo. Like in my head, I'm like, people say smile, I'll be like, I think I'm doing a smile, and then I'll look at the photo and I look like I'm, trying to squeeze out a fart, sort of thing. So yeah, just different things like that. I was like, oh, that makes sense now. So but yeah, I had a job. You'd leave Friday, go away on the weekend, and then they'd come in early on Monday and they would decide to move all the desks around to, liven up the workplace. And that would just throw me for a loop because I had everything, everything was meant to be in its place, and that was me done for, if not the rest of the day, the rest of the week, sort of thing. So, but yeah, so I basically, while I'm looking for suitable work, I do my podcast with my co-host, and churn that out and do the shorts and the deep fakes for it and other stuff, and yeah,
No,
get invited on other podcasts.
To Buckles, I would have went to Australia before they fucking locked that shit down like a concentration camp. I would never go now, man. Your guys' shark fishing is fucking off the hook.
Oh, it's all pretty
beach
back to normal now.
land-based shark fishing out there? Yeah, but they locked that shit down quick, dude. I could be there in a week.
Oh,
and the
it's
next pandemic could come. I'm
I think the only places now that you have to wear a mask is like hospitals and maybe public transport, but I'm not sure because I haven't been on public transport in a day, in a minute. But
I mean, it's the same here. You still got to wear like mask in the doctor's offices here in the hospitals and whatnot. But
yeah, I think in aged
Not where
care
I'm
as
at.
well.
Or no, yeah, we did when we got our kids' social security card. That was a year ago, though. They tried to make you wear the fucking mask.
Well, I know. I think aged care here, the workers still have to, but I've got a sister-in-law that works in aged care, and I think they're talking about not making them wear the mask, sort of thing, because we're up till like I'm eligible for the 5th vaccination. That's where we're at with our vaccinations.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, so I've already had 4.
Hero here, buddy. When you guys
So,
turn into zombies, and I know Jeremy's got one.
I got
Yes.
I got my 2 shots. That's all I got. I
Oh,
didn't
you
get any
got fucking
boosters.
2 of them, dude?
It was a
Well, see,
2-step process, Scott.
Deborah and
I
I
think-
have 0, so like when you guys turn into zombies, we'll be fighting you off. I was thinking like that would be a good fucking story, like that ties into the COVID. Like, if you get 1 shot, then you
COVID
turn into like a
cryptoids.
mindless zombie. But if you had the full like 5, you're like some fast, crazy zombie that's like World War Z style shit.
Well, I mean, Scott, if I turn into a zombie, I'm just dancing the thrower the whole time.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. We never got we got the Moderna, which I got the was it Prestige? What was not Prestige? What are they?
So you got a whole bunch of different
Pfizer.
ones. Huh?
That's the Pfizer one. Yeah. So we had Pfizer, Moderna, and I
Oh,
think
yeah,
one of the original ones for like that was more suitable for older people.
Yeah,
Not
I
the
got
Johnson.
Pfizer. I got both the Pfizer shots too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
not the
sorry,
Johnson and
guys.
Johnson one. And I just kept, because I had 5. I was like, I don't want to mix and match. I'll just keep going with what I got. It's like, you get drunker quicker if you mix your beers and drinks and whatnot. And I was like, I'm not mixing vax. So don't know what's going to happen. And that's probably when you have troubles, when you have one of one and one of the other. So
They forced all you, right? Like you had to get it. There's no one in Australia that had
no,
0.
it wasn't forced. I think it was each, like you still had a choice, but obviously if you wanted to choose it and your work was like, you've got to do it to work here.
Yeah, my job,
no
they
shoes,
were
no
gonna
service
try
type
that,
thing.
and everybody wasn't gonna get it, so they dropped that shit quick.
Yeah, so obviously if you had a medical condition that, some people that legitimately certain vaccines and certain things didn't work, or, people that were going through chemo and stuff like that. But, if you were fit and healthy and your workplace required you to have one, or like I've just applied for a job last week and I had to show them proof, because we can download a
That's
certificate,
fucked up.
show them proof that I'm vaccinated, sort of thing. So
Yeah,
that's
there are certain
part of the
certain
norm
jobs.
now.
I was just unemployed a little while ago, and like there are certain jobs here that like it said like if you interview and get proof of this job, you need to prove you're COVID vaccinated.
Really?
But it's the same thing. I get like
it's healthcare jobs and stuff like that. Like it's like certain jobs where you have to be.
But I think you guys, well, from what I know, you guys have more like go for jobs, sort of, you know, you have to be drug tested or something like that.
Yeah,
Mm,
fuckers.
Well, not here.
I've
Not here.
Now they
Okay.
start doing credit checks too.
Well, I mean,
Well,
they do background checks, but I mean,
Hell,
in Massachusetts,
the job I'm at right now, they actually checked our social medias.
oh yeah,
God,
no, I've heard of that before. Yeah.
I'd be fucked.
Yeah, no, I.
Well,
I
see,
get
I've
that,
not.
especially mine's like public.
I've just had my first ever this same job that I've applied the same job I've applied for recently that I just mentioned with the vaccination, which I've had a few that I've had to since COVID kicked off that I've applied for that you need to show proof. That's the first ever job that I've applied for, where I'm now booked in 2 weeks' time for a drug test and some other tests.
The
First one
synthetic
ever.
urine works very well. I was hesitant the first time. Like I did it, I think it was like 05 the first time, 04 or 05. And I was like, aren't they going to be able to tell? Like, how is there one bottle for men and women and everything? Just make sure you get your temp up right. It comes with a little hot hand.
Nah, I just won't worry. Like, I'm not a smoker or anything. But the funny thing was, like recreational, I don't do any recreational drugs. I just, have a beer maybe here and there. But the funny thing was, like, CBD oil isn't, you can't just buy it, service stations, gas stations are over the counter or anything. We're a long way behind with the whole medical marijuana and things like that. You can get it prescribed, but you got to jump through a lot of hoops. Not that I want it, but I found a place online that just has CBD oil gummies, supposedly 0.00 something or other, untraceable of, THC remnants sort of thing. They're not selling it as being, the one that gives you the high. It's just, to help you sort of relax, go to sleep.
Yeah, just
that
CBD,
sort of thing.
I mean, CBD's been being sold in gas stations here for the last like decade and a half, but
Yeah, so we're not there. So I ordered that, which to the letter of the law shouldn't get to me, but obviously it does. They say what it is in the in the thing. So I've just been taking, they're 10 milligram per gummy. So I just take one gummy just before I go to bed, ease off. Mine's nice and, uncluttered, and I'm not thinking about 400 things I shouldn't be thinking about. Good night's sleep. And then I went and bought a 5-pack of piss tests from the chemist. And the first one came up as showing a result. Then I waited a day or so with not taking them, and it came up. And then I've got like another 2 more weeks till it happens. I'm like, well, if it happens, it happens. Big deal. It's just wasn't meant to be. But I don't know. That's the thing, because I take some medication for some mental health things. So whether that interacts with it, but I got to put that all on the thing. But it's just funny that I've gone all my life, and I'm in my 4th decade of living, and I know I don't look that way with the cartoon, but yeah, I haven't had a job with a drug test attached to it, and the first one I get is about a month after I start taking the CBD stuff.
I've been drug tested, but I actually had to get drug tested for a certain part of my old job, but it's Massachusetts, so it's legal here recreationally. So I mean, like my boss told me, she's like, if you come positive for weed, they're not going to care.
Well,
and I'm like,
my,
good.
My co-host.
I'm like,
while
Boston,
John Buckles is in here, do you want him to come to the next bracket? Are you coming, John?
Buckles is always invited to the bracket. Him and Brandy.
And Brittany, you got to get Brittany to come too.
that last
Jeremy
link I sent you in the
doing
chat too
brackets with Brittany.
is the AFL beginner's guide
Mm.
if you're interested.
We'll have to check
I'll
it out.
check it out.
We'll check it out personally, but
Yeah, cool.
Scott, why don't you do next cryptids for 45 minutes in?
Okay. Well, John said he's coming, so you just got to find out what the next bracket is, Jeremy.
What you want
What
me
do
to do
we-
it? I'll do it. I'll make it up. I don't care. I'll pick a topic.
Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck's going on.
We're doing a cult bracket on Paranormal Normal this month. So
Is
Colts would be kind of cool. It'd be fun research.
Either of you-
we can do the same bracket on both shows. I mean, different people, so it's different jokes and whatnot. So
have either of
Okay,
you
well,
guys
John
got the,
Buckles is coming. And I think, yeah, he just said Brittany said yes too.
fuck no.
have either of you
okay.
guys got the thylacine lined up?
Well,
what?
I got that's how we got into that whole long rant. I was trying to find out how long you were from Queensland. So have you
All
ever
right.
heard of the Queensland or the Hook Island sea monster?
No, I can't say I have.
Okay, so this one I don't know if a sea monster technically counts as
It looks like a
an
big sperm.
Australian. There are
It's like
actually a fuckload of
Oil
pictures.
spill.
One. There's like a short video, and it does look pretty fucking like legitimate. But the first sighting of this cryptid only goes back to 1964 when Robert Lee Sarek, I don't know how to pronounce that in your guys' accent, but he took his family on holiday. I think he was from France. And then they noticed this thing in the shallow part of the fucking lagoon, just like sitting there. And they estimated it to be about 30 feet long. It sort of has that like tadpole shape to it.
Mm-hmm.
So Robert and his friend thought it was dead. They went to go check it out. They jumped into the water and fucking walked up to it. And then when they approached the creature, they were about 20 feet from it. And the thing like opened its mouth. And they said that when they got closer, its head was like 4 feet wide, 4 feet tall. And it wasn't 30 feet. It was more like it was 70 feet long. And then its skin had like a dullish brown color. And it resembled more of shark skin than like an eel or something. It didn't have any scales. So solid, smooth skin. It had pale green, almost white eyes. And then there were no teeth, no fins, and no spines. They did notice that there was a wound on the right side of the animal. So they think it fucking like swam up into the shallows to sort of recover or whatever. But yeah, the thing that's kind of fucked up about it is these pictures are great. You can check them out on YouTube. Like there's a bunch of videos on it. This dude was a photographer and the pictures were fucking like on point.
All right.
But at the same time, he was a photographer and he was wanted by Interpol for debts that he acquired in France. That's why I think he's from France. He might not have been. He wasn't from Australia, but he's getting fucked by Interpol. And then he immediately sold the pictures and the video as soon as he got back. And he sold it to the highest bidder, but then he never produced the film footage. So like, dude's in debt. Maybe he set some shit up, got some money, trying to pay back the debts. I don't know. What do you think, Jeremy?
I mean, looks like a giant black sperm sitting in the water. But I mean, I don't know. It's unlike any sea monster I could say I've heard of. I mean, like it ain't no Nessie. It ain't no. Most sea monsters are supposedly like leftover dinosaurs.
Well, there was they said it resembled, not them, but like other cryptid zoologist type people. They said that it resembled this eel, swamp eel, that gets to about 28 inches. But now you're talking like 70 fucking feet. So like,
yeah, there's a big difference between 28 inches and 70 feet.
But the description matches.
That's
that
what she said.
eel.
But I mean,
I got pause that next. You ready for yours?
let's do my next one, which my next one is going to be let's see, what should I go with next? Oh, well, I got 5 just because I thought we would need to be good on time. But bring up the picture I sent you of the bunyip. Let's do that one next.
okay. I don't know what the bunyip is, so I've got.
It looks like the creature in the back of Brock's screen.
Yeah, I brought me pet.
Okay, I got them all like fucking named. So I've got man-eating water dog, red-eyed
Yep.
dog,
That's it. That's it. The first
man-eating
one.
water dog. Cool.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that's it. I gotta see it first, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
Is that the
Oh,
one?
there we go. Yep, that's the bunyip.
Cool.
Looks a lot more. I don't know. It looks. I don't know which one looks more badass. These ones are the one Brock has, but the bunyip, also known as the Keon Prati, and am I pronouncing that right, Brock?
Ooh, let's have a look. Ian Prati, yeah. I hadn't
Yeah.
seen the web before. I think you're probably looking at the same. You got your cryptids.fandom.com page.
I'm not sure, but
Well,
Cryptid Wiki. That's what I've
Yeah.
got open.
Keon
Yeah,
Proppy, dude. That's what a California accent says. That's what
Keon
it is.
Prati.
That's what it is.
yeah,
You got any
well,
of those Keon Pratis there?
it goes good there with those crawfish. But it's a creature from Aboriginal mythology in southeastern Australia. It lives in swamps, billabongs, creeks, riverbeds, and waterholes. It translates to devil or evil spirit from the Wemba Wemba language. But physical descriptions vary. Some say it has a dog-like face, dark fur, a horse-like tail, flippers, walrus-like tusk, a crocodile-like head, and a duck-like bill. It sounds like someone was just drunk and came up with the animal. But there are even claims it resembles a snake with a beard. But they all agree it's aquatic. That's the one thing everybody agrees on. The earliest account of it is in 1818, well, at least the earliest written account is in 1818, when explorers James Meehan and Hamilton Hume discovered large bones in Lake Bathurst in New South Wales.
Bathurst,
They didn't call the creature a bunyip, but described the remains as similar to a manatee or hippo.
Hold up a sec. I'm gonna pause you. Deborah, jump back on. If you're
what,
here
she can come on?
watching.
Well, tell her to get her ass in here. But in the mid 1830s, fossilized bones were first discovered by George Rankin and later by Thomas Mitchell in the Wellington Caves in New South Wales. British anatomist Sir Richard Owen identified the fossils as the marsupials Dioprodotin and Nototherium. On July 1845, the Geelong Advertiser described the bunyip in great detail. It was also the first recorded use of the term bunyip. What, Brock? Is that famous
sounds right.
newspaper?
No. It's Geelong.
Geelong.
Don't worry, every American goes Geelong. It's just like, imagine you're saying gee whiz, but get rid of the whiz, and it's Geelong.
So it's like a short version when my wife says to me, "Gee, you are long," but
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So in January 1847, unusual skull was found on the, I'm gonna fucking butcher this, but on the Murrumbidgee riverbanks. I said it right. There you go. Riverbanks near Balranald, New South Wales. Did I say that right? Balranald.
Hang on, I've just got to bring up my screen. Sorry, I'm just trying to do two things at once here and get you a link with. Let's have a look here.
But initial reports reported it was a skull of an unidentified creature. By July 1847, several experts identified the skull as a deformed foal or calf. Despite this, it was put on display at the Australian Museum in Sydney as evidence of the bunyip. One legend says that a man named Bunyip broke the rainbow serpent's greatest law by eating his totem animal. Banished by the spirit Yami, the man became an evil spirit that lured tribesmen and their livestock to the water so he could eat them. Never heard of that one. Okay, that's cool. I like ancient legends. In 1857, an article titled "The Bunyip," a newspaper report on the drawings made by Edwin Stocula, Amongst the latter drawings, we notice the likeness of the bunyip, or rather a view of the neck and shoulders of the animal. He informs us that the bunyip is a large freshwater seal having 2 small paddles or fins attached to the soldiers. A long swan-like neck, a head like a dog, and a curious bag hanging under the jaw resembling the pouch of a pelican. The animal is covered with hair, like the platypus, and the color is a glossy black. He also saw no less than 6 of these curious animals at different times. His boat was within 30 feet of one near McGuire's Punt on the Goulburn, and he fired at the bunyip but did not succeed in capturing him. The smallest appeared to be about 5 feet in length, and the largest exceeded about 15 feet. The head of the largest stood about the size of a bullock's head and 3 feet out of the water. After taking a sketch of the animal, and this is going to sound so horrible right here, I'm saying, Mr. Stockheuler showed it to several blacks of the Goulburn tribe, who declared that the picture was Bunyip's brother, meaning a duplicate or likeness of the bunyip. The animals moved against the current at the rate of about 7 miles an hour. And he states that they could have approached close to the specimens he observed had he not been deterred by the stories of the natives concerning the power and fury of the bunyip, and by the fact that his gun only had a single barrel and his boat was a very failed description. A lot of people think it's possibly a misidentification of a known species, such as leopard, elephant seals, cassowaries, and Australasian bitterns, wherever they are. Never heard of that.
Me neither.
It is also believed it could be a surviving diprotodon or other extinct Australian marsupials. There was an Australian horror movie that came out called The Bunyip, which is about a group of city folk who decide to hike in the Australian wilderness but end up getting lost and have to survive against the legendary creature. I need to watch that. There's also another one called Red.
They better have
Billabong
subtitles.
Why? I can understand Australian, thank you. But another Australian horror movie titled Red Billabong pits 2 brothers who uncover their family secrets and realize that their friends go missing, but don't realize that the legendary Bunyip is to blame and now is stalking them. There's the Australian's children book, which Scott Brockman just mentioned, The Bunyip of Berkeley's Creek. Was that it, Scott? I didn't look at the link, but
That was it.
I don't know.
yeah, okay, that was it. Yeah, he put it in chat, Scott. But in it, the bunyip tries to figure out what bunyips look like. The other animals describe bunyips as horrible creatures, so the bunyip decides to live alone where he can be as handsome as he likes. It sounds like a good self-esteem book for kids. But
Yep.
in Melbourne, Australia, there's a statue of the bunyip of
Where
Berkeley's
Nemo's
Creek
from.
carrying a bindle. So there's a statue of it in Melbourne. He was, and I knew this fact, he was a titan featured in Godzilla, Bunyip was, hibernating in Ayers Rock in Australia. It only appears in a monitor, though. It was awakened by Ghidorah's alpha call. It appears in the Sonic the Hedgehog comic books as well, and a few other places, and he's also, and he's in the Crash Bandicoot series as Dingodile, where that's highly believed to be inspired by bunyips. So,
Hey, are platypus native to Australia? Is that where they come from?
I believe
Correct.
so. if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. Hold on 1 second. Keep it going.
because the English originally, when the settlers from Australia sent a stuffed platypus back to England to say, "Hey, check this out," they thought
Okay.
they had put different animals together and sewed them together.
Is this a
Jesus.
platypus or
Oh,
a
God.
duck?
Hang on.
Looks like a duck upside down, Scott.
No, come on. Don't get focused here.
It's upside down to begin with, Scott.
Have you ever seen a flat duck? Is this a platypus or a duck?
Well, the coloring of it is duck color, so I would say it's a duck.
This podcast is over.
No, but the English thought that someone in Australia got like an otter or something like that, and sewed a duck bill to it. because they didn't think it was real. And a platypus has a spur on, I think
Yeah,
it's on its front feet that's
Yeah,
poisonous.
it's poisonous.
Hmm.
If you want to see a platypus, watch what was that show? Phineas and Ferb. There's a
There's
platypus on that.
fucking ducks have tails too. Okay. Ducks
Mhm.
have tails too.
They
Wasn't that,
do,
and
but
it was, yeah, wasn't that DuckTales, the TV
Yeah, there we go.
cartoon?
oh, there you go.
Spelled
Well,
differently, but
Scott-
still.
Scott, you want to do your final cryptid before you
Let's
get
do
too
it.
drunk?
Before I get too, dude, I did not feel like drinking tonight. I'm pretty hungover playing video games with my son all last night. But
What game are
pushed
you
through it.
playing? I'm kind of curious about this. What game were you playing?
It's gonna sound really dumb. We were playing. Did you ever play Call of Duty Ghost?
No, I hate military games.
Well, yeah, I don't like Call of Duty. I liked the World at War Zombies, but in Ghost they have this alien game. So
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
yeah, just you try to fucking get to the end and then run back. We almost made it, but it was like fucking 3 hours, dude. 15 beers later. Okay. But I pushed through. I made sure I was going to be drunk for this episode. Thank
That's a
you
good
very
soldier.
much.
That's a good soldier right
Good
there.
soldier. Oh, fuck. I got to find this. So it's, have you ever heard of the Min lights? I'm looking
Yeah,
for
I
it.
have.
Okay,
They're
cool.
like UFO lights, apparently, that zoom around in the outback somewhere, I think, from memory.
Yeah, so this, like, I'm not sure if this even considers to be a cryptid. I saw it in a lot of different lists, so sorry, Jeremy, if I got off the cryptid thing.
I mean, aliens are unexplained, so they're technically cryptids. I guess I don't know.
Well, they have the Utah lights down, like where there was this big Mormon battle thing back in the day.
That's ghost lights. That's not alien lights.
Yeah, well, this is kind of the same thing. So, you can see them for like hundreds and hundreds of kilometers outside of I'm gonna fuck this up, Boulia, Queensland, Australia, and but they're mainly
How do you
seen in that town.
How do you pronounce that town?
Chat.
It's
Copy paste it in chat, and then I'll be able to tell you what it
B-O,
what it might be.
Here, I got.
Oh, hang on.
Can you see the
Oh,
B?
Boulia. Boulia.
Yeah, I'd say Boulia.
Boulia.
That's how I'd say it. I don't even
Australia.
know it though, but that's just okay.
Like bullying cubes.
Well, now you gotta like go there, dude. You're our on the ground support team. So, like
Go picture these lights.
you can see them for hundreds of miles or kilometers on each side of this town. That's where they're like most spotted. And let me pull up this before I totally get into this. Stop. There we go. Okay, so they've actually used this as somewhat of a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
And they come in different, like various sizes. They're orbs, ghost light orb type things. They come in different colors, like a bunch of people have claimed seeing them in different sizes and colors. And then they report seeing the lights. When they see them, they think the fucking lights are following them. So the first Western report, because the Native Americans have been seeing this shit for years, they think it's like the spirits of their ancestors and stuff. Or Native Australians, God.
Thank you.
God.
I was going to say that they're bright, but they're not that bright.
I'm talking about the Native Americans that are in Australia. They believe
you're talking about the Aboriginals.
Yeah, whatever, good for whoever's listening. But yeah, back in 1838 was the first Western, like European style written down fucking report of it. And there's one that happened in 1937 with this guy Bill Boyang. and he described his experience in some sort of article, but he claimed that he was just like sitting around the campfire with his buddies in the middle of the outback, totally pitch black, and they saw the light that was about 50 yards away, and then it started moving up and down like 20 feet in the air and then back down. So the dude said he was going to go check it out, and his friends told him not to go because there's this huge cliff drop off there. And Bill said that was rubbish. And he went, that's a Australian word, right? Rubbish? Or is that English?
It's a British word, I'm pretty sure, but
Yeah, we use it, but
Okay, you guys do use
it's
it.
same as trash.
Well, he said, oh, crikey, that's rubbish.
Rubbish bin, trash bin, rubbish can, trash can. Put the rubbish out, put the trash out.
Okay, cool. So he went out to investigate either way. And then when he got to about the orb, his friend yelled at him and said, like, you're about to fall off this fucking cliff, dude. Don't do it. And then he said that the orb was like still sort of moving closer to him and away from him. And he's like standing at the edge of the cliff right now. And then like the fucking orb seemed like it got agitated and was like trying to get the fucking guy to follow him. And then eventually it just like zoomed down to the bottom and it was gone. So
Interesting.
that is my very good drunk story about the Min light.
Well,
They
sounds
are
more-
linked. Okay, go.
I was gonna say it sounds more like a vengeful spirit, ghost light type thing than alien lights.
Yeah, no, it was like the way he described it, I butchered the fuck out of it, but it was like trying to tempt him to follow it and like kill himself. Sort of
Sounds
like
like
that dog bridge where all the dogs just like jump to their death type thing.
oh, in Scotland or Ireland, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, people in Australia, I guess you can fact check me on this. They associate it with a lot of like 411 missing persons reports. There's been claims of multiple people who have like shot at the fucking thing, and then it just
course
sort of
they have.
teleports to a different place. And then even people being chased down in their fucking cars by these lights. Like,
Yeah, I've heard of that, being chased in their cars.
yeah, so I mean, I don't know if it's like ghosts or beings made of energy, aliens, or if it's just like, you know, reflecting light off of dust, atmospheric refraction. So you can claim or know I'm reading, or ball lightning. Like there's a bunch of different things of what it could be, but we have
I
the
don't
same
think
shit in
ball lightning.
America.
I don't know. It's not. Ball lightning is completely different from anything else. But ball lightning
I've
is
got a theory.
Do that. Hold on a sec, 1 sec. Ball lightning in America is a proven thing. It happens. It's weather. But ghost lights are completely different, and a lot ball lightning has been mistaken as ghost lights. But that sounds like some vengeful motherfucking like native spirits or something that are trying to kill people because they got killed by probably British settlers because the British suck. America and Australia unite. Fuck the British. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Mark.
Well, like,
No, I reckon it could be just a pack of bunyips with torches.
yeah, there we go. But it's seen
Uh,
all the time, right? Like ball
it-
lightning
it-
is super rare.
It had to be near water for it to be bunyips. But yeah.
So like, I mean, we have the same shit in multiple places in America.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, Gettysburg is known for ghost lights, and some of the South too, from the Civil War, like is known for ghost lights. I forget, like places in North Carolina, South Carolina, but
Utah, like that's too coincidental to just be a bunch of ball lightning every report.
no, it's
Never-
ghost light. It's ghost lights or orbs. That's what it is most of the time. It's a place where a horrible tragedy happened usually, and there's just so many spirits that you're going to see them.
But you're gonna take a drive down to this Min Light town, right? Report back.
No. I'm well and I'm a few days.
Yeah.
I'm probably about 4-day drive from Queensland
Ah,
or
dude,
the
you're
outback
doing
or
it for
wherever
the
it is.
team.
Yeah,
Australia is bigger than you think, Scott. But
Australia's
I mean,
actually
that's right.
Australia's wider wider than America. I think it's bigger than yeah.
Hey, dude,
I was
I
gonna say,
play
'cause-
Risk. I don't think you're right on that fact.
No, it is. It's just maps don't show it appropriately because I mean,
You could fit. Yeah.
there's less detail. Like there's only like so many states compared to America, and
Plus, most of the middle has nothing in it.
exactly, it's just Aboriginals in the desert where
We're-
nine
yeah,
different the nine deadliest creatures on Earth live.
Do
Yeah,
you
we're
guys have
very
a lot of
coastal.
Walmarts?
We have none.
0 Walmarts. What's your Walmart?
Probably be what's called Big W,
Big W.
which
That's just an Australian Walmart.
it's kind of similar. It's not associated by
Well,
anything.
I would
We
assume
we
not.
have supermarkets here called Woolworths.
That was like a
Woolworth-
clothing line, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, Woolworths was a all-in-one store that existed in America in like the 50s and 60s and 70s.
Yeah, so Woolies was if you don't know, Australians like to shorten things. So Woolworths we will call Woolies. So Woolworths are like your groceries, but then Big W was kind of an offshoot, which was more Walmart without with not as much grocery component. So maybe candy
like-
and chocolate. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Big
Big
W.
W.
Yeah.
Like it's like Walmart, but it's a smaller version without clothes. It's not a
It's
superstore.
It's like
it
Big
has
Five's
clothes. It has
design.
clothing.
Oh no! I meant without food. Like a lot of food.
It has some food.
Yeah,
I could go there and buy, chocolate bars and
Put it this way, Brock. Put it this way, Brock. When Walmarts are not superstores, when they're just regular Walmarts, they only have like non-perishable food. They don't have like anything refrigerated or frozen.
What's up with this shit though, dude? Like,
I
you
remember
guys
I
don't have
bought-
any doors.
It's a mall, probably.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're mainly found in malls.
Oh,
They'll just
shit.
shutter it.
Could you imagine
They'll
if they
just
had
shutter it
Walmarts
down.
in malls? That'd be great.
Yeah, they're not their own. I'm trying to think. Years ago,
They're not
I think they used to be their own standing store, but more so now they're as the way the world, shopping centers and malls and things are sort of taken over. So
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it actually would have been better in America if that was the case too, because then malls may still exist in areas. But
I remember going. I'm trying to think what I bought at. Like, I've been to Walmart, been to a couple.
Beta Walmart?
Yeah.
Like
I
a mini
went over
Walmart?
No, well, it was a proper one, I guess, because they did have food there. They had a cafeteria, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, like Walmart used to back before COVID.
Yeah, this was going back. Geez, how long ago? Probably 15 or so years ago. This was a couple of years after 9/11. So was that
shit,
2000?
Yeah, that's like 20 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
That's 22 years ago.
Because I remember, I don't know where I was, but they were still putting through the, do not leave your luggage unattended.
They still have that sign in American airports, but yeah.
And that was going over the loudspeaker, and it was surprisingly at that time, even though it was still pretty fresh, the amount of people that were leaving their luggage unattended. Because when I came home from that trip, while I was in the air, was when they had that whole plastic explosives. You take your toiletries and that on planes and stuff like that. So we didn't know about it, which we got out before they closed LAX down for that, which was good. And then when we touched down in Australia, it's like, what's going on? But no, I went to Walmart. I thought it was great because everything was so cheap compared to Australia. Because we don't tip here, so our wages are kind of higher because we don't have to subsidize them with tips. Our minimum wage is higher, but the cost of living is higher because of it as well. So,
well, yeah, of course, everything has to equal out in the end at some point. But
yeah. So when you go, when you're just going on a holiday, vacation, whatever you want to call it, and money's not a thing, and you walk into a Walmart and there are like there was no Blu-ray players at that stage, but so it was all DVDs. You know, you see a DVD and it's like $5. Oh shit! I'll buy that CD. You know, $10 or whatever. Wow, I'll get that. You know, so yeah, it was kind of like I think I sent about 3 or 4 packages back home of just stuff I'd bought while I was there before I actually got back, of CDs, clothing.
Nice.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, Scott, if you want to bring up the Yowie picture, I'll do. I gotta do the Yowie. We can't talk about
Okay.
Australian cryptids. I'm
Oh
not talking about the
yeah,
Yowie.
I got. Do you
And
want
I'm
me to
gonna
bring up
set-
the map first?
Nope, save the map for last because
Okay,
I'm gonna do
cool.
that at the end because that's the end of the presentation here.
I almost made it through the whole episode without pissing.
Is that the
And-
second time you went? Oh no, you went to get your
No.
cat. You went
Yeah,
to
I
get your duck last
the-
time.
No, the
Duck.
platypus, dude.
Duck.
To get the platypus.
Scott or
Don't give
Jeremy,
her
I've
ammo.
just put a link in chat, and when you're finished talking about the Yowie, if you bring that up, I'll be able to. Well, you should be able to see what the picture is. But
Well,
yeah,
Scott can definitely look it up while I'm
I can
reading.
tell you what it is.
What's
Well-
the name of your like YouTube or shorts or what podcast? Like
What's in
Oh,
your? It's called Duh. It's a podcast. If I'm not
It's a
mistaken, right?
podcast, yeah. So
that's a good
DUH
name.
exclamation, and then it's a podcast. So
Well,
That's
Let's
a good
talk about
fucking
this.
name.
let's talk about this picture of me that Scott had brought up. It's
in a onesie.
maybe in my Grinch mood.
Is
But-
this gonna be some sort of like woman
You'll find-
alone in a
You'll find out, Scott. But
cabin?
Yowie, or also known as Yahoo or Yahoo, Yori, Hairy Man, or Yahoo, is a fanged humanoid marsupial or gray ape featured in Aboriginal mythology, along with Australian raptors, bunyips, and barnyard. The Yowie is considered to be the Australian Bigfoot, and contains many primate-like features, possibly indicating it is an undercover species of the gray ape, the Gigantopithecus, as I've mentioned on the show before, or prehistoric human. The Yowie is described as being one of the most aggressive Sasquatch species, and has been reported tearing heads off of kangaroos and dogs. It has been seen attacking humans as well, however, that is rare. It's described to be 5 to 9 feet tall, a large red mouth, and talon-like claws, according to Aboriginal legends. It's also noted that it contains 2 large fang-like canines, which distinguish the Yowie from other Bigfoot species. It usually has brown or reddish fur. Like most Bigfoot species, it's theorized that Yowie descends from the ancient ape called Gigantopithecus blacki. While the Giganto Bigfoot theory may be valid, it is highly unlikely that the Yowie descends from the same Asian ape as creatures from Asia, and never made to Australia due to sea depth and vice versa. Creatures from Australia never made to Asia. The separation is marked by the Wallace line. Another theory is that they may be living Homo erectus, the presence of which in prehistoric Australia is suspected but not proven, or particularly primitive tribe. There are some 140 placental mammals known to exist in Australia, most belonging to the order bats and rodents. Some cryptozoologists theories that the Yowie could be some form of bipedal marsupial, such as descendant of the New Guinean Holithurium, due to the fact there are no primates native, evolution-wise, to Australia in the fossil record. And now, Scott, you can bring on the map.
Yeah. And you're
look-
welcome, dude. Every time we do cryptids, I save the Bigfoots for you and the living dinosaurs and the vampires for Deborah.
And I highly appreciate it. I'm sure. And Deborah gets all excited reading about those vampires, you know.
Okay, sighting map. There we go.
So, the most recent sightings were reported in early 2021. 3 sightings of Yowie creature were reported in 2021, and at least 6 sightings in 2020. All the sightings were reported were in Queensland, Queensland, which
Do people live in these other territories? Like everything was like in Queensland.
Yeah.
and New South Wales, Victoria's the capital, for God's sake, isn't it?
No, that little. If you see that little
This thing?
No,
Or
no,
one
that's
of these
Tasmania. That's
little
Tasmania.
guys?
It's great that they haven't put that is actually a state, that island down the bottom. That's Tasmania. They get left out a lot,
Shit,
unfortunately.
That's where the
Like,
that's where the
what's this
Tasmanian
thing?
devil's from. We don't leave that
Yeah,
out in
now, if
America.
you scroll over to the right,
Okay.
go down to the right a bit. See that little dark bit
Oh,
that looks like a
yeah.
bean to the right
Yeah,
of
that-
Victoria?
This one?
No,
No,
Scott,
to the
over here.
right.
All right, you can't see where I'm pointing, but to the right,
Yeah.
Scott, right underneath the E and the S of Wales.
Ian
Yeah.
Nielsen. Oh my god. Oh, in Wales.
Yeah,
You got a
yeah.
drunk guy. Where's Wales?
above
New
Victoria.
South Wales, just above Victoria. Keep going right.
Other
Your other
side of the
left.
map.
Your other left.
Jesus fucking Christ. Scott, other
Okay,
side
I
of the
see
map.
Victoria. Where's
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
That's South Wales.
That little
okay.
bit
Right
there.
there.
Go up, just up a little bit. There.
This
there,
is-
that
Right
thing. Yes. That's
Is
the
that an
Australian
island?
capital. That's ACT. No, that's a state. That's
Oh,
a
somebody
territory.
said island. I fucking like.
So we have two territories. We have Northern Territory, which is the one up the top, and that's the Australian Capital Territory. So that's where our parliament is. That's where the Prime Minister is and all these cronies.
So that's what you're storming January 6th next year.
No, unless we get a holiday for it. But
Well,
What's
yes,
all this
this-
5% shit? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like, what is
that's where the
like,
sightings have been.
okay, so like this half of the country, there's less people that have seen shit.
Yeah, so we're very coastal cities. The coast, we're about 80%, I think, of our population is coastal,
Okay.
because there's, like I said, not a lot in the guts of the. It's just barren. So
And then like this whole part of the fucking continent doesn't really have as many people as this little part.
true. Like Queensland is kind of like your Florida.
Okay.
Oh, so it's full of nut jobs?
Yeah, pretty much. So hence why they probably see more sightings up in Queensland than anywhere else.
So can Americans buy land in Australia?
I'm guessing if they got enough money, they probably could. Yeah, I don't think there's any law against international, foreigners buying land.
Scott, it used to be a prison state, so I doubt it's illegal for us to buy land there.
Dude, you can't
would-
buy land in Mexico. You
It would
can
probably
lease it for
be-
99 years.
Yeah, it'd probably be something to do with buying up too much land,
I'm
you
good.
know, and
with it.
having a monopoly. Because I know a lot of this is going back years, but a lot of rich Japanese people were buying up land in Queensland for golf courses and things like that.
Hell yeah, dude. Like that's Disneyland was all a swamp, or Disney World. I'm sorry. Disney World was
But yeah, it's
big-ass
just
swamp.
funny there that Tasmania down the bottom there doesn't even get its name there. They poor old Tassie. They get left
We
out.
can, Jeremy. We need to invest, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh, well, I mean, the way America's going, I'm down to live in Australia, but it does have the 9 deadliest animals in the world, so I don't know about that.
But the best fucking land-based shark fishing you've ever
Ah,
seen.
You don't
I
see
don't
them
want-
though. I've never seen whatever the snake is that's deadly, and I've never been bitten by a redback spider, and I've never
because you don't
gone
live
in the
Western
ocean
Australia.
I've gone in the ocean a couple of times and never been stung by a jellyfish, bottleneck blue bottle jellyfish or whatever it is.
The box jellyfish.
Yeah, blue box.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just piss on the wound apparently, and that helps.
Yeah, you
I think-
sound
Or
like
if
a
you-
salesman, dude. I'm not buying it.
Well, Scott, I got 2 cryptids left. That's how we get through them. Go ahead.
Oh, do you want to just whack up that Yowie picture I sent? I'll just quickly explain what it is in the link in the chat.
Okay,
yeah.
I will
He's
figure
got to get it set up.
how to get chat going again. This is the
But,
first time I've ever used chat, so why don't you do your next one, Jeremy?
All right. Well, while I'm doing that, put up the picture
Oh,
of
I'm-
the. God damn it, Scott.
Okay, which one?
Uh,
I got red-eyed dog and
I believe it's the red
red
dog.
frog.
Oh, frog.
Okay.
I think. I'm not sure. They all seem so similar.
Is that one it?
I I'm not sure what that if that's it, that last one I'm doing, or I'll do that one. I'll figure out which one that is real fast. Okay, that's my last one. I'll do that one. That is the Yarama Yihahu. Did I pronounce that right there?
Yeah,
Brock?
Yaramayahu.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Yaramayahu. It's a blood-sucking creature from Aboriginal folklore that lurks in treetops until a person walks under it. Then it would leap from the tree onto the person, suck almost all of its blood, and then swallow them whole. What the fuck is with things leaping from trees in Australia? But
They must have a
After
lot
school.
of trees.
oh, they do. But after swallowing, well, they did. I don't know if they still do. But after swallowing the poor soul, it regurgitate the person up, take a drink of water, and nap. Then wake up to puke the person out over and over. As it does this, he or she will become shorter and redder each time until they themselves become a Yarama Yahoo. It resembles a little red frog-like man or woman, about 4 feet tall, with red hair and skin. It has an enlarged mouth with no teeth. It has suckers on the tips of its fingers that it uses to suck the blood out of its victims, which are usually people. It can unhinge its jaw like a snake. It drops down from the trees, usually fig trees, onto the person, then grabs the human's arm and uses the suckers on its fingers to suck up the blood before running away. It later returns and eats them, then vomits them out for an easy meal next time. It could be possibly this is the explanation. It could be an unknown variety of tarsier, a primate from Southeast Asia, with fingers that have appearance resembling suction cups. There are some problems with that theory, as tarsiers are relatively harmless and far smaller than the Yaramayahu. They also do not live in Australia, as far as we know. So that's all I got in that thing. But Brock, have you heard of that growing up?
No.
So this is all American bullshit.
Well, yeah, the only thing I knew that sucked growing up was a vacuum cleaner. So
What cryptid do you guys like? Do you believe in the Yowie? Like what
Yowie.
cryptids or Yowie? Do you guys believe in something more than because you got that
Nah.
fucking tiger thing that like,
the only thing would be
The
The-
five
yeah,
Malsian tiger.
that would be the only thing that
Yeah.
I think people would believe in proper. All the others would sort of say, oh, it's
that one they
Aboriginal.
actually had in a fucking
Well,
zoo like in the
folklore.
30s.
They did.
Yeah,
There's a black
they
and white
did,
video
yeah,
of it, but
the last
the Malsian
supposed
tiger.
one in
that-
captivity.
That
But
should
actually,
be out there.
Scott, I just want to say, on Monsters Among Us, a podcast that has actual people calling in their stories, there's been a few Australian people calling in Yowie encounters. So I have to believe the Yowie definitely exists, just like all their Bigfoot species.
I'm
There's been-
not doubting it. I'm just wondering, like, how big is your Yowie community? Do you guys have like people out there with trail cams, Yowie hunting, and TV
Couldn't
shows?
tell you, to be honest. Couldn't tell you. I know there's been big black cat sightings
Mhm.
that apparently.
Yeah, that one was
Um,
like less interesting because that probably is fucking out there, right? Like,
I don't know if
Yeah.
it was
Alien
think
big
it was-
cats, yeah.
I think it
ABCs.
was. Yeah, but I think this one, with the Australian one, it was during the Second World War, I think, or something. I think some, American soldiers came out and they had one or something, and they let it loose, or it was a circus, and one got loose, and it just bred.
Makes
I don't know
sense.
how, but yeah.
Wait a
it's a
minute.
dingo, dude.
One
No,
got
no, big-
one got loose and bred with itself.
Yeah, or a couple got. I don't know. That's the thing. It's like, did one get loose and another get loose, or how did it, survive, sort of thing, or reproduce? So, but
Or was
there
it
has
always there?
been
People say
footage.
no.
I think the Yowie got a hold of it.
Mm.
There we go.
We call that, Scott, interspecies erotica if you ask Kevin Smith. But why don't you bring up that last picture, Scott, that I didn't get to yet?
That's the red-eyed dog, right? Yeah, that's
I'm
what
assuming
I think that's
by
the
your-
last.
By your filing system.
Well, like, name each picture, dude. Come on.
There we go. That's it. Look at that sexy beast. But
He looks like a fatty. I'd squeeze his belly.
that, and tell me if you heard of this or not, Brock, but this is the Euroa beast, EUROA,
Euroa,
Euroa. It's a
Haven't
Euroa
heard of it.
beast.
but I have
It's a-
the Euroa Beast page up here. So Yeah,
It's a
Euroa,
30-foot long.
I'm about. Hang on, I'll just see here. Just quickly, sorry to.
How do you do this
Um,
cartoon thing? Like, I'm gonna be a cartoon character.
It's a Avatar in Zoom. I'm 36 minutes from Euroa.
All right, well, there you go.
Damn, he's close as fuck.
Well, the Euroa beast is a 30-foot long, bulldog-faced amphibious beast sighted in 1890. The first accounts of this bizarre event were published in the Brisbane Courier and then in the Melbourne Argus on February 28th and again on March 1st, 1890.
Sorry.
What'd I fuck up?
Don't worry, you're not alone. Brisbane
Brisbane, yeah.
and Melbourne.
No.
Where
I said
Nemo's
Melbourne.
from.
You Americans just really go with the ends on the things, so
Well, because N's one of the most important freaking
that's all good.
letters in our
Yeah, you should
alphabet.
just
Come on
stop
now.
right there.
We don't even enunciate Australia properly. We just say Australia, you know.
Well, this story begins in an area known as, I'm going to fuck this up too, Wylonemby. What, Wylonemby?
Where are we?
Wallaby.
Located near the township of Euroa, Australia, where a cadre Wallenby, yeah, of credible witnesses testified the swamp had been infested by an identifiable 30-foot long monstrosity since 1884. The Brisbane Courier published this article, which they claimed was written by the Euroa correspondent of the Melbourne Argus, too many fucking Australian words, on February 25th, 1890. Considerable excitement has been caused in Euroa by reports as to an extraordinary animal having been seen in a swamp about 14 miles distant. The swamp is about 150 yards across and a creek flows through it. For 6 years or more, the swamp has been reputed to have been the haunt of something abnormal, tales being told of dogs flying out of the place and never again being induced to enter. Last week, a couple of young men went to the swamp for the purpose of cutting reeds, which are 6 foot high and very thick, when they were alarmed by a sudden splashing and snorting near at hand, and the rushes waved as if allowing passage to some large animal. They quickly retired, but next day, one ventured back to carry out the reeds he had cut. When he was again alarmed by strange sounds, he leaped upon a log, and some 30 paces away saw a large head upreared, which he likens to that of a bulldog. It kept this position for about 10 minutes when it disappeared, the motion of the rushes giving the idea of an animal some 30 foot long. The young man was greatly scared. On the report of the occurrence appearing in the local journal, of a party of Euroa sportsmen went out to the swamp, where they were joined by local residents on horseback. After being about for more than an hour, they were about to give up the quest when a sudden rustling was heard, and 2 of the party saw an enormous tail as thick as a man's thigh disappearing into a large trunk or fallen tree. A shot was fired at the animal, but its effect is a matter of conjecture. Attempts were made to dislodge the... Oh, that's what I have in that one, I guess. Wait, what the fuck?
You know, they've put Bunyip there, but without a veil.
Oh, yeah. Attempts were made to dislodge the Bunyip, but without avail, the only result being a small black snake, which was quickly dispatched. Night coming on, the party retired, but will again visit the scene on Saturday. Those who saw the animal describe it as being of a yellow color underneath and dark brown above, as thick as Mr. Barr's bell topper. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it's supposed to be an immense serpent, such as is found in Queensland. Assuming that the bell topper in question is referring to a top hat, and taking into consideration the fact this creature was apparently able to scamper inside the trunk of a fallen tree, it must be assumed this is a relatively narrow beast, perhaps not like an otter. And bullshit. The short, squat, presumed extinct crocodile-like tetrapods hail from the early Carboniferous and represent what many scientists believe to be the missing link between fish and land animals. Wherever this creature was or was not, it sent waves of panic rippling through a small community of Euroa and the surrounding regions, forcing the townspeople to solicit the help of the executives at the Melbourne Zoological Gardens. The garden officials, who were understandably skeptical about the horror deal, felt that the accounts deserved further scrutiny and swiftly dispatched an emissary to Aroa. Basically, they used a big net to try to catch it, and they found tracks, and that's pretty much it. They made casts of the prints, and that's pretty much it. And that's the last known account of this mysterious monster, but is often mentioned in company with the equally inexplicable creature known as the mastodon or Masterton monster of New Zealand.
Have you ever been to New Zealand?
No.
I'd love to, but no.
Yeah, you gotta see the Hobbit house, dude. You're just like a hop, skip, and a jump away.
I live in a fucking Hobbit house. Come on now.
You guys watch Lord of the Rings down there, right?
I've seen
on.
Lord of the Rings. I never
Oh,
seen
I,
the
s-
Hobbit.
I saw it. I just didn't realize I had to take my pillow to the cinema.
Oh my god. This guy's
Oh.
never allowed back on. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Well,
Fellow
well,
to the cinema.
Scott, I'm pretty sure I never saw any of them in the actual theater. I watched them all
I
at home.
wish,
but
dude. I wish I would have.
I saw all
I mean-
three because of the original. Like I haven't been to the
I
Hobbit
haven't seen,
ones
I haven't seen any of the Hobbit ones yet.
because they were. I think it was. They all got released on the 26th of December here when they did come out.
Oh,
Um,
day after American Christmas.
well, day after our Christmas too. So
All right, there you go.
we call it Boxing Day here. So
Oh,
we have a
yeah.
holiday
Oh,
for
you
it.
got some. Well,
Well, I
England's
mean-
Boxing Day is. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
you guys
England's
got.
Boxing Day is like 4 or 5 days after, right?
Well,
Couldn't
the
tell,
British
yeah.
fuck the British fuck with everything, Scott. We know this.
But yeah, when they got over that mountain peak and they looked down and they saw whatever they saw at the end of the first Lord of the Rings and it finished, it's like, what? God damn it. And it's like, I've got to watch the other two now because I'm in, I'm not in because I want to be in. It's just, I got to see this through
What the fuck are you talking about bringing your pillow? Come on now, dude.
because they were like about 3 hours long, it's like, and it wasn't that exciting.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, look, I'd rather Groot the talking tree as opposed to the
Oh,
talking trees in
Jesus.
Lord of the Rings.
Dude, those talking trees in Lord of the Ring were badass. They killed many orcs and fucking other things.
It's been that long, I can't even remember most of it, to be honest. So.
You haven't watched it
Oh.
like 100 times? I watch the shit
No, I
like
just-
3 times a year.
I think we might have watched the previous one before the new one came out just for a refresher. That's about it.
You got to get the audio books, dude. The audio books, no spoilers, but it's got a lot more shit in there.
Yeah, no, I'm not into.
Yeah, I don't do audiobooks
Would've.
either.
Well,
You don't
yeah,
even
I
really
haven't done
listen to
audiobooks.
podcasts, right?
I actually got back to
What the
listening to
fuck?
podcasts now, but
Yeah, I've got a couple of podcasts that I do like listening to, but I haven't listened to them for ages because I don't want to because the podcast I do is sort of comedy based and taking the piss out of things and joking about nearly anything, pretty much. And the ones that I listen to are similar. They'll do like what's happening. So I don't want to get influenced or subconsciously say something that they've already made a joke about. So it's like, damn it.
Well, yeah,
I sort
just
of-
send us a link. Well, Jeremy knows. Jeremy can send me the link. I'm always looking
Yeah.
for shit, dude. I got like 50 hours of mindless, repetitive work over and over and over again. That's why I listen to audiobooks.
Well,
Gotta
we've
fill
got
the fucking
30
time.
We've got 31 mindless episodes that you can get into. Did you manage to find that or get that photo?
Oh, yeah, I'm
link?
supposed to, the chat thing, right? That's in more.
Yeah, sorry.
Chat. Okay, you guys keep up the conversation. What is this?
yes, well, I mean,
Link here.
I just did a SpongeBob thing. I don't know whether you saw that,
Yeah.
Jeremy.
I
in
did
the-
see it, and I personally hate fucking SpongeBob with a fucking passion.
I've never watched
That's-
it in my life. So
Is this
Oh,
your
yeah,
guys'
you-
Easter candy?
no, that's just a regular chocolate that would come out. So that's chocolate, kind of like a Kinder Surprise, which I think you guys don't have there because they're banned.
What the fuck is that? The Yowie
Yeah,
Well,
Or
yeah.
that's
Scott-
like a
or-
fucking
or Scott's platypus?
give me a break. That's like a kangaroo, dude. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
What this
So
green one is.
No, that's a Yowie. So inside the chocolate, you would have, a proper animal like a kangaroo or a spider up there that's
Yeah, I don't know if
on the top.
kangaroos are proper, but
And then you could even get, I think there's 5 or 6 character Yowies, because as you can see, they're all different colors and they're all got different names. There's, I think, Nap, Squish, Diddy or something.
and you just buy this at the Big W?
You buy it wherever, buy wherever they sell, as you guys would say, candy.
And this one's got the fucking hand coming out?
No, it's
Like
a
I gotta
spider.
get some of these for
That'd
my
be a
son.
spider. That
Oh, I
would be a
see.
spider.
It's a spider on 2
They
different.
like, I know they had them when I was a kid, and I think they're back. I'm not sure if they're still current, but yeah, they were a thing. And you'd get inside it a toy once you ate the chocolate.
Yeah, I gotta get my fucking kid some of these things, dude.
But yeah, I'm sure you could probably buy them on, there'd be people that have probably hoarded them, and chocolate lasts for years. So
Is it got like fucking caramel or nougat or anything inside the chocolate, or it's just a
no, it's just a shell, and then
Shell
inside
of
the
chocolate.
shell is I suppose, because you guys don't, I think you guys are not allowed Kinder Surprises. Do you know what a Kinder Surprise is?
No.
Yeah,
Do you,
Kinder-
Jeremy?
Yeah, my kids love Kinder Surprises. Yeah,
But do you have the
Ah.
toys in them?
yeah.
Okay.
We just bought my kids a 3-pack today of
Okay, I thought they were banned in America.
No, they're not banned in America. They're
I've
fucking
never
popular
heard
as
of
hell
them.
here. All Scott, they're little eggs, and half you open it up, and half is a chocolate candy with hazelnut, like Nutella, and the other half is a toy that you can put together. Look
Yeah.
for them in any fucking grocery store. They look like eggs.
So that's the same thing with the Yowie.
Okay.
Same sort of principle. You open it, it's the shell of a chocolate, so it's not like a Cadbury
Oh.
cream egg or something like that. It's
Well,
just like
they separate here with the packaging, so the chocolate's in one half and the toys in the other.
oh, okay, maybe that's how they've got it through. Here, the chocolate, the toy is actually inside the chocolate. You got to crack the chocolate open to get the capsule
Oh.
to get the
Or
toy.
just bite that fucking chocolate. Get that shit.
Yeah, you just bite the top off, pull the toy out, eat the rest of the chocolate, pop the capsule open, pop
And
out.
there's
Like,
cryptids.
I'm pretty sure they have paper instructions from memory to tell you how to put it together. And yeah,
And there's
Yeah.
cryptids inside, and this is like a mainstream thing.
well, it was. I'm not sure if it's back. It says like that picture that I pulled up there is connected to an article that says they're back.
Well, I mean, Kinder eggs have been huge in America for the last 2 or 3 years now, at least 5 years maybe.
Okay. Well, that sounds, now that you've said that, that's how they've gotten around having the chocolate and the toy separated.
I mean, on the other side, it's literally like just like chocolate frosting almost, it looks like. And then there's like 2 little chocolate hazelnut balls inside of it. And the kids fucking, I mean, they also have candy bars called Kinder Buenos. They're fucking delicious. They're fucking delicious.
Well,
But-
here the Kinder Surprises, there's your dairy, your brown chocolate on the outside, and then there's like a layer of white chocolate on the inside,
That seems dirty as shit. The
And-
toy being inside of it all.
and then the toy.
Well,
But-
dude, like I know your figurines inside, but we sue each other for having hot coffee. Razor
Oh, yeah.
blades come with a package that says, "Warning:
eat."
this shit is sharp."
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, we
well,
have that too. We have like a motorbike helmet with the sticker over it saying what it's made of. Please remove sticker before wearing. It's the same.
It's sad. It's sad. But Scott, I do gotta wrap this up because I gotta get to bed for
I
work.
got
but-
it. You were probably the first Australian I've talked to, so good to meet you.
Oh, this has been a very
Good to
informative
meet you too.
episode. But before we go off recording here or off live, Brock, where can they find your podcast?
It's on YouTube, and it's called It's a Podcast. So DUH apostrophe It's a Podcast. So I'm pretty sure if you type that in, it'll come up. We're cartoon based, not the cartoon that I'm looking like now, but a different type of cartoon. But it'll come up. I think it's myself and another guy who's actually based in Boston. So we have a bit of back and forth.
I may know him, but I don't know if I do or not. But
His name's Brandon. but he Brandon Brooks, but he goes by Brooks.
I know Brandon.
I know a lot of Brandon, but
Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
on that, on YouTube,
set
if
him
you
up.
want to watch it, if you just want to listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, it'll be put up on where else? Twitch. We've just put it up. It's live, but it's not live. It's just the episode pre-recorded that goes up all at the same time, and it usually drops at what time? Sorry, it's just changed.
Yeah, well,
Daylight savings just ended here, so
Well-
it's stuffed up the whole
well-
time thing. But it usually drops 7 a.m. on a Friday morning Eastern Standard Time.
well,
The episodes, yeah.
they can follow Antisocial Network and they'll find it.
Yeah,
Send
and
us
we're
the links. We'll put all the
on
links in the
Instagram as well
description.
under Director Podcast. So yeah,
Well, next week is going to be I know we already did a fucking episode on exorcisms.
You want to do a second episode on it?
No, not exorcisms, non-Christian exorcisms. So
just
like the
beating the-
Judeo, the
All right, let's do it. Let's do
Muslim,
it. I'm down.
Hindu.
I'm down.
be more research, but it'll be fun. Well, it was
All right,
good
I'm down.
talking to everybody.
I'll
Yeah,
start
great.
researching that work.
getting into it, and I've found out a few new things that I didn't know about my own country.
Well, there you go. We're educating the world, Scott. But
Right,
global
America.
America.
Oh, global strangeness. I'm sorry.
Yes, global strangeness, and we will see you all next week. Have a good
Have
one.
a good night.